In the last class, we discussed what is the capacitor and capacitor and what is the behavior of the conductor which is placed in a electric field. Okay, na? And after we discussed what are the types of the dielectrics. Okay, na? So once again we recall the what is the last session we discussed, that is what is a capacitor. Capacitor is nothing but it is a device which stores a large amount of charge in a small space, and it is arrangement of the two conductors which are spaced with a which are separated with the help of the dielectric. And after that we discussed what about the conductor and what about the dielectric. Okay, when we take the conductor, whenever it is placed in a electric field, then we observed the electric field inside the conductor is 0 and the total charge inside the conductor is 0, and the total charge is resides on the surface of the conductor. And we also observed that the field lines are always normal to the each and every point on the conductor. And after that we observe an important behavior of the conductor, that is known as electric shielding. So what is the electrostatic shielding? It is the cavity in conductor which always protect the device from external electrical influences. Okay, and after that we discussed about the dielectrics. A dielectric is nothing but insulator, and here there are two types of dielectrics we discussed. One is the polar dielectric, and the one is the non-polar dielectric. Polar dielectric means the positive and negative charges are separated with a certain distance, and those are permanent poles. Okay, and example for that one we take it as HCl and H2O. And after that we take non-polar dielectrics. Non-polar dielectrics are their positive and negative charges are coincide with each other. Whenever we apply the electric field, then only those positive and negative charges are separated and forms the dipoles. Example is H2 and O2. Okay, so this is the topic we covered in the last session. Now we are going to discuss about the what is the behavior of the dielectric in an electric field. Now see the behavior of the dielectric in an electric field. Means when a dielectric is placed in an electric field, what happened, what is its behavior. See here, I consider a uniform electric field. This is the uniform electric field, and all of you know that this is electric field E bar. The field lines are originating from positive charge and terminate at negative charge. In this, when we place a dielectric slab, so it is an insulator, it is called as the dielectric slab. When we place the dielectric slab, then here dielectric is an insulator which does not having any free charges. All the charges are tightly bound, means all the electrons and protons are tightly bound with the nuclei. Here there are no free electrons will be there. But whenever we place a dielectric in an electric field, then once you remember that when we place the conductor in an electric field, then what happened? Electrons are moving against the electric field and positive charges are moving along the electric field. Okay, but whenever you take the dielectric slab, in the dielectric slab there is no free charges. Then what happened is, when we place this one here, all the negative charges are aligned along the positive side, that is opposite to the electric field, and positive charge is aligned along the electric field. So like that, here inside the dielectric the charges are aligned in this manner, one positive, one negative, one positive, one negative. So like that the charges are aligned inside the dielectric. Now here this is called a dipole. Here also it is called a dipole. So here what we observe, when a dielectric is placed in a electric field, then inside the dielectric slab dipoles are formed. This process can be called as polarization. Here polarization is nothing but formation of the dipoles in a dielectric slab whenever it is placed in a electric field. Here we are going to find what is the polarization. We are going to define one more question, that is polarization. Polarization is nothing but formation of the dipoles in a dielectric slab whenever it is placed in a uniform electric field. And next one is the polarization capital P bar is equal to dipole moment small p bar per unit volume. So we define the polarization is nothing but dipole moment per unit volume. This is the behavior of the dielectric whenever it is placed in an electric field. So clearly we are observing when a conductor is placed in an electric field, there the field inside the conductor becomes zero and charge is also net charge in the inside the conductor is also zero. But whenever we consider the dielectric, when dielectric is placed in an electric field, here dipoles are formed. The formation of dipoles in a dielectric whenever it is placed in an electric field is known as the polarization. Now the polarization can be expressed with capital P. The polarization is equal to dipole moment per unit volume. Okay. Now electrical capacitance. I already gave the definition for capacitor. What is the capacitor? Capacitor is a device which stores large amount of charge in small space. Here, what is electrical capacitance? Capacitor is a device. Capacitance is representing the device. Capacitance is the capacity of that device. See here, what is the electrical capacitance? It is a measure of conductor's ability to store the charge. Means how much charge can store by the conductor. That is known as the capacitance of that capacitor. See here, the capacitance is represented with the term C. Remember, we already discussed resistor. Resistor is represented with capital R. In the similar way, the capacitance can be represented with the term C. In the magnetic fields, we are going to represent another term, that is the inductor, that is with L. Okay. Remember, the capacitor is representing with the term C. See here, I already told you a capacitor consisting two conductors which are separated with the insulating material. Now these two conductors are connected to the potential. Then what happened? By applying this potential, the plates are attaining the charge. Here the first plate is taken positive charge. Here the plate can be taken as a negative charge. So two equal and opposite charges are attained on the plates of the capacitor. Now that charge is always directly proportional to the applied potential. From that we are going to write the charge on each plate of the capacitor Q is equal to CV. From that the capacitance C can be defined as Q by V. This is the formula for the capacitor representing the charge of the plate and applied potential. So here capacitance is the measure of the conductor's ability to store the charge. Whenever we are applying the potential, then here charge can be attained on the conductor. Now that charge is always directly proportional to the applied potential. So from that we take Q directly proportional to the potential. Therefore the capacitance C is equal to Q by V. Now see the factors on which capacitance of the capacitor is depend. So here we consider this is the conducting plates. Each plate is having the area A and it is the insulating material. So here that is called as a dielectric, and the separation between these two can be taken as a D. Now capacitance of the capacitor is depend upon these three terms. That is, the first term is area of the plate. Area of the plate means that is size and shape of plate. So why? Because here generally we are having the three types of capacitor. One is the parallel plate capacitor, and another one is cylindrical capacitor, and another one is spherical capacitor will be there. Okay. So here the capacitance of the capacitors depend upon the size and shape of the plates, or size and shape of the conductors which we taken. And the second factor is nothing but nature of the dielectric. What is the material we are using in between the two conductors? Depend upon those two conductors also the capacitance can be defined. That is known as the nature of the dielectric material. Here we are going to use insulators like paper, mica, wood, and sometimes we are not using any dielectric, that is the air can be used as the dielectric. So like that the capacitance of capacitors depend upon that dielectric also. And also third factor is nothing but separation between plates. Okay, so like that the factors which on capacitance can be depend. So once again see the important 2 mark question. What are the factors affecting the capacitance of a capacitor? That is nothing but the factors are, first factor is shape and size of the conductor. Second factor is the dielectric nature of the dielectric material which we used between the 2 conductors. And third factor is separation between the 2 plates. Now see the SI unit of capacitor. The SI unit of capacitor can be represented as farad. This is the name of scientist. Depend on this. Based on him, we can take the unit of the capacitance can be taken as the farad. And here we are going to use small units are also. Here capacitors are generally available in microfarads and picofarads. Here 1 microfarad is equal to 10 power minus 6 farads. And general availability of the capacitor is in picofarad. 1 picofarad is equal to 10 power minus 12 farads. Okay, so the SI unit of the capacitance is farad, and 1 microfarad. These are called as smaller units. Generally capacitors are available in these 2 units. 1 microfarad, that is 10 power minus 6 farad. 1 picofarad is known as 10 power minus 12 farads. Now see the dimensional formula for the capacitor. We know that capacitance is C is equal to Q by V. Here we can write the Q can be written as, that is known as the charge. The charge is nothing but I into T, that is current into time. And the potential is nothing but work done by charge. Again the charge is taken. It is also written as Q square by work done. And from this Q square is nothing but current into time by work done is nothing but force into displacement. Now based on these terms we are going to define what is the dimensional formula for the capacitance. The dimensional formula for capacitance is equal to dimensional formula for the charge. Charge is nothing but current into time. Current into time is nothing but ampere into second. Time dimensional formula is T, and current dimensional formula is A whole square, that is A square T square, divided by force dimensional formula ML T power minus 2 into displacement dimensional formula is L. So that is A square T square divided by M L square T power minus 2. So the final dimensional formula can be written as M power minus 1, L power minus 2, T power 4, A power 2. So this is the dimensional formula for the capacitance. Now in your syllabus you have the parallel plate capacitor. The important question is, what is the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor without dielectric? That is important 5 mark question. And with dielectric is they given the expression. Okay. Now see, first we have to know what is the parallel plate capacitor. Here parallel plate capacitor means two plates, conducting plates, which are having equal charge in opposite. This is charged with Q, this is charged with minus Q. But whenever you are observing, this is nothing but surface charge distribution can be takes place. So in the first chapter you discussed about the distribution charges. This is nothing but surface charge distribution. So the total charge density on this is known as sigma. Here also the charge density can be taken as sigma. We know that the charge density sigma is equal to Q by A. You know this term in the first chapter. Here this is a distribution charge, surface charge. So it is given, it is the charge density on this first plate is sigma. Here sigma, but it is negative charge. And we know that the field due to positive charge is always away. So here field due to this positive charge is always away. Here I am representing the field due to the positive plate. Field due to positive plate is, we know that the field lines are always away from that. I am representing that with E1. E1 is representing the field due to the positive plate. E1, this is also E1, this is E1. And we know that this is the negative plate. Always the field is enter into the negative charge. So in this negative plate, the field is always in the direction. Because this concept is very important to derive the what is the capacitance of a parallel capacitor. You have to understand this one. That is, when we consider positive charge plate, from the positive charge plate, electric field is, lines are away from that plate. When you take the negative charge plate, the electric field lines are into that plate. When we are observing, the red lines are representing positive field, the black lines are representing the negative fields. See here, outside of these plates, means outside of the capacitor, what happened? E1 and this is E2. It is E2. It is also E2. Here E2. This black lines represent field due to the negative charge. This is E2. It is E2. It is also E2. Okay. Now what we observe? Both are having the same charge density. So due to that one, these two fields are equal. But when we observe outside of the capacitor, E1 and E2 are equal in the opposite direction. So net field is 0. Here net field is 0. Here also net field 0. So outside this capacitor, field is 0. And this side is also field is 0. But you are observing inside the capacitor, both the fields are in the same direction. So the net field inside the capacitor is equal to E1 plus E2. This is very important concept. So when you take a capacitor, the field is always residing in between the two plates. That is, net field inside the capacitor is E1 plus E2. In the Gauss law applications, you know that field due to a surface charge is sigma by epsilon to epsilon naught. And it both are in same direction. So it is also sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Finally, the field due to the field between the two plates can be taken as sigma by epsilon naught. This is very important concept to derive the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So when we consider the two charged plates, it is having the surface charge density, and outside of the two plates field is 0. Inside of the two plates the net field is added. The net field inside these two plates can be taken as sigma by epsilon naught. Now see the expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor without any dielectric medium. Without any dielectric medium means here in between the two plates only the air as the medium. When air as the medium, now we take the dielectric as epsilon naught. Okay, remember this, without any dielectric medium, meaning of that one, in between these two, this is the positive and negative plate, between the positive and negative plates, the permittivity is nothing but epsilon naught. Okay, so remember this is epsilon is represented as a permittivity. You already studied in the first unit. Okay, now here epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space or air. Here I consider without dielectric. Without dielectric means air as a medium. And after deriving this, I explain what is the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor in the present whenever dielectric is placed. That is only for 1 mark question, but this is the important 5 mark question. See here. Here I consider two parallel plates which are having the same dimensions and both are spaced with a distance of d. Here in between these two plates electric field is there, that is E. We already derived that. What is the electric field? E sigma by epsilon naught. And we also know that Q is equal means sigma is equal to Q by A. This concept you already know in the first chapter, and already I derived why the electric field between two plates is sigma by epsilon naught. By using this one, we are going to find what is the capacitance between these two parallel plates. Okay. Now see here, we are going to take electric field between the plates E is equal to, due to positive charge, due to negative charge, this is nothing but sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Finally the electric field between them is sigma by epsilon naught. And we also know that what is the sigma? Sigma is nothing but Q by A. Substituting here, sigma is nothing but Q by A into epsilon naught. Okay, this can be taken as equation 1. Now we know what is the electric field. The electric field is nothing but potential per unit length, or we are going to take it as E is equal to V by D. So here the electric field is nothing but E is equal to V by D. How we define this one? We know what is electric field, Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into R square. What is electric potential? Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into R. From this what we can write? E is equal to V by R. But here R is nothing but distance between the two plates. Finally we are going to write it as E is equal to V by D. Okay na? All of you understand? That is electric field E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Potential V is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into R. From these two equations we take relation E is equal to V. Q by 4 pi epsilon R is nothing but V. One R is remain, that is taken as E equal to V by R, where R is nothing but D, because that is the separation between these two plates, that is E is equal to V by D. With the help of this one we derive what is the capacitance. Here clear? That is electric field E is equal to Q by A into epsilon naught from this expression, and E is equal to V by D. Now substitute here, that is V by, from 1 and 2, V by D is equal to Q by A into epsilon naught. But we know that formula for capacitance is C is equal to Q by V. So for that take V this side, that is Q by V is equal to A into epsilon naught by D. But we know that the Q by V is nothing but capacitance. Capacitance C is equal to A into epsilon naught by D. So this is an important derivation which gives the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Here first consider the two parallel plates. One is with positive charge, other one is with negative charge. Both are spaced with a distance of D. Now the electric field between the two plates can be taken as E1 plus E2, that is sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Now you know that sigma is nothing but Q by A. That substitute Q by A here, you can get electric field between the two plates is Q by A into epsilon naught. But we know that E is equal to V by distance, that is E is equal to V by D. Substituting from one equation 1 and 2, V by D is equal to V by D. Now from equation 1 and 2, V by D equal to Q by A into epsilon naught, that is Q by V equal to A into epsilon naught by D. Now you know that Q by V, in the definition I told you, the charge per potential is known as the capacitance. Capacitance C is equal to A into epsilon naught by D. So this is an important derivation they are given for the 5-mark question, that is the expression for capacitance of parallel plate capacitor without any dielectric medium in between the plates. Here without dielectric medium means we take epsilon naught. In the next session I explain what is the expression for the parallel plate capacitor when dielectric is present, and after that we derived the series and parallel connection of the capacitor and what is the energy stored in the capacitor. Thank you.